Why is Ark Invest buying this penny stock? What is happening, investors? It is your boy Jack. I am not a financial advisor. I got the hoodie to prove that fact. And today we're speaking about a very cheap stock. We're speaking about a company named Nanodimension, ticker symbol NNDM. And if I just show you the monthly chart really quickly, you can see it's been pretty crazy. Just yesterday up 22%. As of recording this video, down almost 10%. The volatility has been absolutely immense, and there's a few clear reasons why that we will get into. But when you see the amount of shares held by insiders and institutions, it becomes very evident why this stock is going to be extremely volatile for a long time, in my opinion. Not to mention some capital raises that have happened over the last few months. It's a very crazy looking company. Now this is a penny stock. We're trading at about $3. Only a month ago we were trading in the 150s. So as always, that means it's going to be extremely volatile. I generally am not a penny stock investor, but I have to say these guys look quite interesting. Full disclaimer from the start, I am not yet invested in this company, but I want to speak about the recent price action. I want to speak about their cash flow, their financials and fundamentals in general. I want to speak about Ark Invest and the fact they're buying them now. But what a lot of you guys may not realize is that Ark Invest also bought them and sold them quite a considerable period of time ago. We'll of course speak a bit about what they actually do and how the last couple of years have looked. And we're going to speak in regards to one patent of theirs I found that is particularly exciting. So right before we get into the video, can I please ask you to hit that juicy like button, my friend? It really helps me out. I'd appreciate you massively. If you're new around here, what are you waiting for, my friend? Hit that juicy red subscribe button and join the family of investors. We're trying to get to 50,000 investors ASAP. And please drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the video and let me know what you think of the company. I do just want to again stress the fact this is a very cheap stock, a very volatile company, so you know, treat it as such. First thing I really want to point out, the 5-day chart were up 53%. You can see the daily moves, okay? 1.5%, 10.7%. 14.7%, down 1.6%, and plus 22%. Immense. I mean, crazy stuff. I'm recording this video about 4 hours before the market opens. I've actually been watching these guys quite a bit today because I've been doing quite a bit of research. Right now in the after hours, they're down about 4.5%. I've seen them down over 9%. I've seen them down less than 1%. This is pre-market trading. This isn't even while the market is open, and it is that volatile. I mean, I've seen it go up and down 5+% on a couple of separate occasions in an hour. That's pretty nuts, and it goes to show just how volatile these guys are. So before we even get into the company, that's where I want to start things off. So Ark Invest have been buying these guys in their ARK-Q, their autonomous tech and robotics ETF. They are literally their smallest holding right now. So right off the bat, that should be a thing that everybody realizes. It's their smallest holding. Right down here, okay? Now they have 471,000 shares. There's a couple of interesting things I want to show you in regards to Ark and institutions in general. So if we actually go back in time to the 11th of the 8th, 2017, Ark Invest bought 27,000 shares. And we gradually bought a few more times until we come to the 13th of the 5th of last year. And they had a total of 804,000 shares in the company, okay? So the 13th of May. This is when this was a $6 company. So since then, they had gone down in value massively. And we can see that Ark Invest actually sold most of their position the 31st of January of this year. They had 72,000 shares. A big drop from 800,000. And what's pretty crazy is that the days preceding, this company dropped over 40% in value. So there's a couple of things I'm wondering, okay? It's interesting to see Ark getting back in now, considering that they timed it so well last time that they got out. The first question that's obviously going to spring to mind is, do they know something that we don't? Do the big institutions know something that you, me, the little guys don't know? Also is worth noting that as of 2020, we have seen quite a lot of institutions getting involved here. Now, a lot of them aren't super heavy and all honesty. I mean, a lot of them just own thousands worth, which for institutions, it's not the most. You know, we're used to seeing millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. So institutions are getting involved, but they are treating it as what would appear to me a somewhat speculative penny stock, which is exactly what I think the company is right now. And then the next thing I'd like to point out is this, okay? Mutual fund holders own 1.7% of the company, and other institutional investors 1.47%. So literally just over 3% is held by institutions. That is a very, very, very low amount. And what happens when institutions own small amounts of the company? Most of it's left to the retail investors. So in general, that's going to create massive volatility, which most certainly is what we have seen with this company so far. I mean, if I just yet again show you that 5-day chart, this isn't normal. This is crazy. So that is definitely something worth knowing from the start. it's extremely volatile. I mean, these swings are crazy. They are not healthy. Only a matter of what, maybe 5-10 minutes later, we've gone down another 4% from where we literally just were. Here we can see we went on an 80% run. We proceeded to sell off 22%. We're going to see big swings here, basically. So, of course, very cool to see that Ark Invest is buying, you know what I mean? But let's keep in mind it literally is their smallest position. Now, that will more than likely change. If there is another green day, it will move up the ranks a little bit. But as of right now, this takes up 0.22% of the portfolio. The next one is 0.24. Then 0.49, then we get into the 0.7. So for Ark, okay, this is a tiny position. I want to make that clear off the bat. And based off what I've shown you here, Ark have known about these guys for a considerable period of time. They have bought them high and sold them low in the past. And remember guys, I love Ark. I really do. I have a lot of respect for Ark. I really like their RQ. I like their RK. But that doesn't just mean that because they buy a stock, you buy a stock. It can be a good sign. And again, as I kind of briefly said earlier, they could know something that we don't. But I don't blindly buy companies ever just because an institution does or Ark does, especially not if it's a penny stock that I don't really know much about. That wouldn't sit right with me. Now the next thing is some of the financials. So if right off the bat we go to the balance sheet, okay, we can see that not a lot was going on with cash and equivalents or cash and short-term investments. And since 2016, it's actually been pretty much going down. And then we can see in their latest report, we have cash and equivalents of 39.7 million and total cash and short-term investments of 49.5 million. Now, where did this cash come from? I mean, did we make loads of sales? Well, no, we didn't make loads of sales. May 20th, nanodimension prices $35.9 million registered direct offering. So they entered into definitive agreements to sell 17.95 million ADSs at $2, with gross proceeds seen at 35.9 million. May 20th. Look at this. Look at that spike up. Insane, okay? All the way to 340. Now, these shares here, keep in mind, where are we? They were issued at $2 a share. We went on this disgusting run up, and what happened? Sure enough, they sold all the way back down sub $2 before proceeding to go up and then sell off again. And then very recently, October 1st, another direct offering, this time for 16.9 million at ADS of 230. So the money is coming from these direct offerings, not from sales. So say yes, our cash and short-term investments, equivalents, etc. look in a much better position. And I mean, our asset to liabilities is fantastic now, but at the same time, right, our EPS is still terrible. We missed EPS massively Q2 2020. Negative 27 cents a share, which might not seem like that much, but keep in mind how cheap this stock is. We're still looking at negative EPS going forwards. And we have literally always had an absolutely terrible EPS. And in general, we have missed estimates. Now, in regards to revenue, okay, it's been a mixed bag. I mean, we've definitely had some good growth year over year, as we can see here, but it's still absolutely tiny revenue, and our latest revenue wasn't particularly fantastic either. So I mean, we've very bad EPS, we have bad earnings. We have raised considerable capital through direct offerings. So just before we do actually get into a bit more about what the company actually does and some of what the exciting prospects may be about these guys, I just want to show you their income statements. And again, we look at gross profit, and it has been pretty much tiny. Now, it is going in the direction we want, but it is tiny. R&D expenses, I mean, they're slowly starting to come down. So maybe, you know, we're going to be able to save some money in R&D soon. We're going to be able to turn that into some actual profits. But again, operating income has been absolutely terrible. And this is not sustainable for this company at this point in time whatsoever, so that needs to be known. So obviously, if you are thinking about going long on these guys, that's something that needs to be kept in mind. Obviously, if you're swing trading it or day trading it, that's completely different. But from a fundamental and financial point of view, things in general don't look very good here. So I mean, why might people be excited about this company? I genuinely think one of the biggest reasons is because people see Ark getting involved, and we do also see bigger institutions getting involved to an extent, and those guys can know things that we don't, especially when I showed you earlier on how well Ark timed the market last time round. You know, they could well know something we don't. As well, you see headlines like this every now and again. Nanodimension gets clearance to supply US military, so they've been certified clearance to work in conjunction with the US military. So with our registration, we are positioned to strengthen our sales and service to the US defense and aerospace markets effectively and efficiently. And that does bring me on to this point right here that I found quite interesting. So they received patent approval from both the US and Korea patents and trademark offices for innovative dielectric ink. So this is why right here, okay? So Nanodimension's dielectric ink has been shown to provide excellent performance for high frequency communications up to 6 GHz, okay? This performance, combined with the ink's lightweight and electrical dielectric properties, has made the Dragonfly Pro, which we're going to go into next, Nanodimension's precision additive manufacturing system and tech, very attractive for the space industry. specifically the emerging mini satellites field, where weight and size are critical design requirements. So this is quite exciting to me because I am in the process of doing more DD into space and satellites in general. You may have seen yesterday's video, we spoke about SRAC, momentous. So something like this could be big going forward. Now I don't know if it's going to be big in the next year, 2 years, or maybe it's going to be 5-10 years down the line. But they have patents, and this could well make them, you know, a valid customer for some big companies down the line in a market that's expected to grow to over $1.4 trillion within a decade. So this is just something that I found quite interesting when I was doing a bit of deep diving. Now everything we spoke about, we haven't even had a look at their website yet. So essentially they're pioneering additive manufacturing of electronics. So this is their bad boy, okay? The Dragonfly LDM Precision Additive Manufacturing System for Electronics. That's a very long name. We'll just call it the Dragonfly. So the Dragonfly is the industry's only comprehensive additive manufacturing platform for around-the-clock 3D printing of electronic circuitry. This precision additive manufacturing platform uniquely integrates an extremely precise inkjet deposition printer with dedicated nano inks and optimized 3D software. But essentially with these, okay, we can move rapidly from concept and design validation to production of precision electronic components while keeping the entire process securely in-house. So I suppose it just matters, is there going to be the demand? That's the main question here. I think that's why a lot of people who are actually planning on going along with this company are trying to get in now. It's a high risk speculative play. It has massive upside potential, but I mean, we've seen how they've performed over the last few years. It's just gone down horrifically. This really is high risk, high spec, high reward. You may have seen me speak about desktop metals in the past, and we see similar advantages here. Time, cost reductions, it's around the clock, it's automated, we can get complex geometries. This is something that the 3D aspect brings. Component consolidation, confidentiality, environmental. We can be used for research, or we can be used for aerospace, which again could lead to more government contracts down the line. Defense, we already know they're working with the military. Medical, automotive and industrial. So I do think it's an exciting company without a doubt in my mind. Financials and fundamentals as of this moment in time are not good by any means whatsoever. Right now I think it's a big gamble. I do think that's all it is. I mean, absolutely anything could happen with these guys on a daily basis. And generally when we see price action like this, I mean a stock just go up, there usually is a big crash, especially when it's this speculative. But it depends. If we keep seeing institutions load up, maybe we see more load up, maybe we see Ark actually release a report on them, or maybe we see any institution release a report on them. Maybe we find out about a big contract. That could be with anybody. It could be momentous, it could be SpaceX, it could be another government contract, it could be an automotor, you know, it could be a Tesla, it could be a workhorse, it could be anybody. I mean, you guys know me, you know I have high risk tolerance, I love growth stocks, but I just don't see enough of a reason to invest yet. I don't see a particular potential catalyst. So I do really think it's a gamble at this point. I do think it's a gamble that could pay off absolutely massively, but I also think it's a gamble where at current prices you could easily lose 50+% of your value at some stage. I am very interested though, if you have watched this video all the way till the end, what do you think of the company? I mean, have you done any research into them? Do you think they're worth a bet? Just let me know what you guys think about these guys. And as well, if you have watched till the end, if you're listening to me speak right now, you, my friend, are a true legend, and I really do appreciate you from the bottom of my heart. Your support means the world to me, so just thank you so much for being here. Also, if you did enjoy and you got some value and entertainment out of this video, please consider hitting that like button, drop me a comment, and very importantly, subscribing. All of that is free, and all of that helps me and the channel out so much, motivates me massively. I really would appreciate you. But anyway, my friends, I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. I will see you for another video very, very shortly. Talk to you then. Peace.